Jorge Martin's big crash has got everyone talking, especially since there's still no word on whether he can keep testing. His teammate, Marco Bezzecchi, shared his thoughts, and Aprilia CEO Massimo Rivola didn't hold back either. So, was it down to a dodgy bike, or was it just Martin pushing too hard? Let's break it all down. Stick around till the end. Aprilia's pre-season testing began in the worst possible way, particularly for Jorge Martin, who was making his highly anticipated debut with the Noel-based squad. Just 5 laps into the first official test day at Sepang, the Spaniard suffered a violent crash, hitting the ground hard and sustaining multiple injuries. While initial assessments ruled out any major trauma, further medical checks confirmed fractures to the 5th metacarpal head in his right hand and the 3rd, 4th and 5th metatarsals in his left foot. The severity of these injuries means Martin will have to return to Spain for surgery, almost certainly ruling him out of the remainder of pre-season testing and disrupting both his personal adaptation to the RSGP and Aprilia's early development program. What makes the incident even more concerning is the nature of the crash itself. It occurred at turn 2, the slowest corner on the circuit, yet resulted in Martin being launched forward in a way rarely seen in modern MotoGP. This is highly unusual given the advancements in electronics and tyre technology that are designed to prevent such accidents. Even more strangely, the fall came immediately after another crash at turn 1. Martin had returned to the pits after the first incident, only to go back out and suffer a second, even more damaging fall on his first flying lap. The fact that the 2 crashes happened on opposite sides of the bike raised immediate questions about the condition of the tyres, particularly whether they had been preheated or reused from the shakedown test. Massimo Rivola, Aprilia's CEO and one of the key figures behind Martin's signing, did not hide his concern. The crash is inexplicable because the tyres were at the right temperature, he admitted. Something went wrong, and the data shows that it was not his fault or the bike's. With Martin now facing surgery and rehabilitation, the focus shifts to his recovery timeline. While a full assessment of his condition will only be possible after the operation, early indications suggest he will struggle to be back on track before the first race of the season. The opening Grand Prix takes place in Buriram on March 2nd, leaving little time for a return to full fitness. Although an even earlier comeback for the final pre-season test in Thailand on February 12th and 13th remains a slim possibility, much will depend on his recovery progress. Either way, Martin and Aprilia now face an uphill battle to start the season on the right foot, with valuable testing time already lost before the campaign has even begun. Marco Bezzecchi reflected on the spate of crashes at the latest MotoGP test, including Jorge Martin's unfortunate incident and the difficulties faced by Aprilia riders. While he refrained from speculating on the exact reasons behind the numerous accidents, he did offer insight into his own experience on track. One of the primary concerns for Bezzecchi was the lack of suitable tyre options. At the Sepang circuit, the soft rear tyre had been the only one to provide the necessary grip. Yet there was a shortage of them during this session. As a result, he was forced to run with the medium rear tyre, which proved to be particularly challenging. The grip levels were considerably low, making it difficult to maintain control. Although he could not comment on the precise circumstances leading to the crashes of his fellow riders, he noted that his own experience with the medium compound suggested an inherent struggle with grip and stability, with Raul Fernandez sidelined through injury and Jorge Martin facing uncertainty regarding his ability to continue testing. Questions naturally arose about whether Aprilia would need to alter Bezzecchi's testing program. However, the Italian remained measured in his response. He stressed the importance of awaiting further updates on Martin's condition before making any adjustments. At that moment, he was not in a position to confirm whether any significant changes would be necessary. Bezzecchi's own track activity focused on evaluating Aprilia's latest developments. As he worked through his program, he conducted back-to-back tests between the newer Barcelona's 2025 bike and its predecessor. This comparison provided valuable insights into the refinements that had been introduced. His immediate impression was positive. There were noticeable improvements, albeit incremental ones. He acknowledged that it was still too early to draw definitive conclusions, but he felt the early signs were encouraging. The revised package retained some familiar traits from the initial tests in Barcelona. The front end of the RSGP continued to offer strong feedback, which provided Bezzecchi with confidence under braking. However, the rear of the bike remained an area requiring attention. He described persistent instability at the back, an issue that had also been evident during the Montmello tests. The cause, he believed, was a combination of tyre characteristics and the bike's electronic setup. More time on the bike would be required to determine whether the instability was primarily down to tyre performance or inherent mechanical factors. Despite these challenges, Bezzecchi found reassurance in certain aspects of the machine. One of the most notable improvements was his ability to brake aggressively. Over the previous season, he had felt that he had lost some of his natural braking prowess, but the current iteration of the RSGP seemed to restore that confidence. The stability at the front end allowed him to push harder into braking zones, which was a key aspect of his riding style. Nevertheless, further work was required to refine the aerodynamics and electronics, which he identified as the most pressing areas for development. When it came to outright engine performance, Bezzecchi had no complaints. He was satisfied with the power output and noted that, as expected, the Italian manufacturers had produced a highly competitive engine. Comparing the experience to his previous machinery, he was quick to highlight that both Ducati and Aprilia excelled in engine design, reinforcing the reputation of Italian engineering prowess in the sport. As the testing phase continued, Bezzecchi remained focused on adapting to the Aprilia, refining his approach, and gathering the data necessary to improve performance. With uncertainties surrounding his fellow riders, his role in providing critical feedback for Aprilia's development could become even more pivotal in the days ahead. Jorge Martin's crash has undoubtedly raised big questions ahead of the new season. Was it just bad luck, a tyre issue, or something deeper within the Aprilia setup? With Massimo Rivola himself calling the incident inexplicable, it's clear that the team will be digging through the data to ensure nothing like this happens again. But with Martin now sidelined for surgery and crucial testing time slipping away, the pressure is mounting. What do you think? Was this purely an unfortunate accident, or does Aprilia have a problem on its hands? And with Bezzecchi still getting to grips with the RSGP, will he be able to lead Aprilia's testing program in Martin's absence? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get the discussion going. One thing's for sure, this MotoGP season is already off to a dramatic start and we haven't even reached the first race. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest news, analysis and behind-the-scenes insights, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll be following Martin's recovery closely and bringing you all the updates as they happen. See you in the next one.